ignorant versus willfully ignorant. We're going to talk about that today. That's the title, Christian. Man, I want to strongly encourage you to question any truth that the Gentiles try to give, okay? When I say Gentile, I'm talking about heathen, other nations, the Romans, the Greeks, the Goyen. When we look at the etymology of the word, you need to question the teachings that the Gentiles give you. There's ignorant, and then there's willfully ignorant. Man, I'm going to direct you to two places. Deuteronomy 28 and Romans chapter 3. I'm going to direct you to two places. Man, there is a reason why the people of Deuteronomy 28, when they were brought here, were beaten, were threatened with death, some of them killed for having knowledge of being able to read, for teaching others to read. That's the reason why. When we look at Romans chapter 3, when we look at the Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church is the reason for all of this replacement theology. The Romans are, okay? Romans and Greeks are Gentiles. They're Goyen. When you look at the older translations in the Bible, if you get a 1611 or a KJV, it's going to say heathen. You get one of these newer translations, it's going to say other nation. You might want to take everything that the Gentiles tell you. You need to test the spirit that they're coming in. Your average teacher or your teachers in Christianity that are teaching you this, which majority of the Western civilization has been brainwashed, you've been groomed and brought up in a Gentile religion, Christianity. When you open the Bible, you're reading about the theology of the Most High Yah. It's not a book telling you how to honor other deities. The word does say that the Most High Yah is a jealous El. Why would he be jealous? He'd be jealous for the simple fact that you would turn after and go serve and worship other idols. The Gentiles come with a completely lawless teaching. The law is done away with. Okay? His name is Jesus Christ. He came to save the Gentiles, or he came to save the Christians. The letter J is less than 1,000 years old. Less than 1,000 years old. The word that the Gentiles use and try to deceive you says that Messiah came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The Gentiles teach you replacement theology. It's a theology that's outside of the word of the Most High Yah with how they tell you to live your life. There's not one place in the whole of the Bible where the Most High Yah commands us to keep a holiday called Christmas. There's not one place where he tells us to celebrate the birth of Yahshua HaMashiach, and there's no place where this is a feast day in the whole of the Bible. The Gentiles want you to believe, especially in Christianity, that you only need to pay attention to 66 books. But just in 1884, you had all 80 books in there. 14 more books. But the Gentile told you don't pay attention to those. I'll direct you to Romans chapter 3. And this is the reason why I say you need to question anything the Gentiles tell you. You need to question anybody that is ordained, not by the Most High Yah, but by way of Gentile schools. In Romans chapter 3, you can see that the Gentiles were struggling with understanding. And there comes a question. Now that we've been offered this salvation and we have faith, do we make void the law? Now that salvation has been offered to the Gentiles and we believe, do we make void the law? The answer was, by no means. You establish it. Other translations say you uphold it. By no means. Gentiles don't want to ask themselves pertinent questions because they want you to remain under this strong delusion. They want you to remain lawless. The Most High Yah gave us Yahshua HaMashiach as a perfect example. We know via the text that the Messiah did not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but he came to fulfill. Fulfill does not mean destroy. What made Messiah the perfect example for us to follow is because he never transgressed the law. When they say he's a man that knew no sin, sin being the transgression of the law, Messiah upheld the law. You look at the Old Covenant. Before Messiah got on the scene, the Most High Yah was using men. But these men had already been tainted by way of sin. Listen to what I'm saying. So the Most High Yah gives us a new covenant. And even in that new covenant, Jeremiah 31, go to 31 through 34, verses 31 through 34. The Most High Yah, again, in that new covenant, tells us that the law ain't done away with, but better yet, he's going to take that same law and write it on your heart. He also tells us who that new covenant is for. The house of Israel and the house of Judah. When the Most High Yah says, many will come to me in that day and say, haven't we prophesied in thy name? It's a reason the Gentiles do not want you saying the name. They want you to say the name of Messiah that's Latin in the first name, Greek in the last name. The letter J is less than 1,000 years old. Go back and look up the history of Christos. Go back and look up the history of the graven image that is the poster boy of Christianity, which is the son of a pope by the name of Caesar Borgia. Go back and look up what I'm saying. When he says, many will come to me in that day and say, haven't we prophesied in thy name? The Gentiles don't want you to know that they have turned you after their deities. All of the Christian observances are rooted in idolatry, other deities. Here's the thing. Chances are this is the first time you've heard it, because you've been taught that you are a Gentile by the Gentiles. When people come out of these Gentile cemetery schools, that literally is the death of you, because there's not an ounce of truth coming from the Gentiles if they are setting themselves apart from Israel in the commandments and the laws that Israel was told to obey. To the one that is homeborn to Israel, and to the stranger or sojourner that is amongst you, there's one law, one statute. The Most High Yah didn't give his commandments, his laws, to the Gentiles. Most people don't even know why the Gentiles were offered salvation. The word says the Most High Yah offered the Gentiles salvation to make Israel jealous. Jealous why? So they could return to the covenant. There comes a point where when the word says the Most High Yah sent them a strong delusion, anybody that doesn't love the truth, the Most High Yah is gonna send you a strong delusional. A strong delusion. And thinking about that, when you watch content like this, you have some who are ignorant because they haven't been taught in truth. They've been taught by men and women that have been groomed and conditioned by the system, the scholarly system of the Gentiles, the Roman Catholic Church, their Bible colleges. You look up the history of college, man, that comes from the Roman Catholic Church. Go back and look this up. And then you have those that will hear what I'm saying, and you will double down in a lie. You will double down in a falsehood. And you will choose to be willfully ignorant. For you, there's no help. There is no help if you choose to be willfully ignorant. The same Bible that most people have, but don't read it, the Goyen or the Gentile has struggled at understanding unless they were righteous. Religion will never be righteous. It's not the same thing. This is why out of all these religions out here, how many of them do you see doing what the word says? Pure religion and undefiled before Yah is to take care of the widows in their affliction, the orphans, the fatherless, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. That's what pure religion is. But how many of these Gentile worshiping Christian churches do you see collecting money from widows rather than saying, you know what, we're going to do what this word really says, take these widows in, make sure they have a way, and we're going to keep ourselves unspotted from the world because these women are uncovered. Man, it's at this point, if you came across this, you're either ignorant because you've been brought up like most of us have by the teachings of Gentiles, and you either can go back and do the research for yourself, study to show thyself approved. Don't let the Gentiles show you how to study. Or you can remain willfully ignorant. The choice is yours. Think about how many inventions that came from ancient Israel, from Israelites. The Gentiles want you to think that an Israelite is the same thing as an Israeli. Two different things. Go back and look that up. How many inventions were created by Israel, the people, the chosen people, but the Gentile put their names in the history book to make you think that it was their works? How many people do we have that are Israel going around being told that they're Gentiles because that's how you've been taught by the men and women that that system has produced? You never go back and look at your lineage. All you care about is some Jordans, some rims, a nice car, a nice job. The Gentiles are responsible for this so-called works-based salvation, when the word says faith without works is dead. The Gentiles are responsible for saying the law was done away with. That's a Gentile teaching. If the law was done away with, and I told you to go look at Romans chapter 3, and you're not supposed to make void the law by faith, when the Most High Yah tells you to part ways, he's telling you to part ways because you're lawless. That's the very thing that made Messiah perfect, because he upheld the law. Ignorant versus willfully ignorant. The choice is yours. Closer to Yah Ministries, kicking it gun barrels.